She's a real Christian lady, for her says the choir, helps out wherever she can. She makes tea for the ladies who run Bible study. She says it's all part of God's plan. She goes home, gets up at 5, does the cleaning and laundry, and goes to bed just after 10. Up before 6, says her prayers to the ceiling, and then starts it over again. She spent 30 years taking care of her mother, doing the best that she could. Her sister and brother had both moved away, so she figured she probably should. It won't be for long, she said to herself, until I get out on my own. But the days kept on passing and the years dragged her down, till she never stopped feeling alone. Her mother's asleep, so she quietly walks down the stairs, heads to the front room and sits in her favorite chair. Everything's as she left it, nothing has been rearranged. She stares at the TV, just waiting for something to change. At the ladies' auxiliary fundraising supper, she serves the dessert with a smile, helps with the dishes, and goes home to mother who's been waiting for her all the while. She makes dinner for 2 and they talk of the weather until they've got nothing to say. And they sit there in silence, not really together, and wait for the end of the day. Her mother is asleep, so she quietly walks down the stairs, heads to the front room, sits in her favorite chair. Everything's as she left it, nothing has been rearranged. She stares at the TV, just waiting for something to change. For her 50th birthday, they threw her a party to celebrate all that she was. And the minister said in his sermon on Sunday, let's praise her for all that she does. And the whole congregation stood and applauded, none of them really aware that she sat by herself, not paying attention, wondering why she was still there. Her mother is asleep, so she quietly walks down the stairs, heads to the front room and sits in her favorite chair. Everything's as she left it, nothing has been rearranged. She stares at the TV, just waiting for something to change. She's a real Christian lady, for her says the choir, helps out wherever she can. Let's get more depressing. There's been another shooting, but the guns are not to blame. Let's send our thoughts and prayers to them in some God's holy name. It's just another lunatic, we'll shake our heads and say, there's no predicting what they'll do, so we can only It's never time for politics when morning shattered lives and daily deaths reset the clock to zero every time. We shouldn't talk solutions after all that they've been through. We'll send our thoughts and prayers, it's the least that we can do. We'll arm the teachers righteously and cut them till they bleed, forgetting everything they say and everything they need. Their classes are in lockdown and we think that's okay. We'll make the schools like prisons, cause they'll be safe that way. We'll always blame insanity and never too much pride. We'll ignore the killers while blaming those who died. Running's not the answer, they have got to stand their ground. A fantasy of heroes with bodies all around. Laws are not the answer to the questions we won't ask. Empty words and gestures are sufficient to the task. We'll mutter vague absurdities and bow our heads to pray. They're not our kids, so we'll forget in just a few more days. We'll turn from all the headlines and cover up our ears, ignoring what's in front of us to hide from all our fears. And when it happens once again, we'll say that it's a shame. Thoughts and prayers are all that's left if guns are not to blame. Thoughts and prayers are all that's left if guns are not to blame. Yeah, I play that song for myself whenever I want to cheer myself up. This is a song about my late father, and every word of it is actually true. Daddy was born back in the Great Depression in a little shotgun shack with cotton all around. Grandpa was a cropper who could never make a living, so they packed up everything they owned and moved on into town. Born and raised a Baptist, Daddy sang in church on Sunday. Grandma always said his voice was a gift from God. He was faithful in attendance till he left to go to college, but he did not need a church to magnify the Lord. Daddy was the kindest man that I ever knew. He believed in helping everyone, didn't matter who. He said, I used to go to church and pray, but love my neighbors how I live my life today. He worked hard to make a life for us, always kept us laughing. Happiness was what he wanted all of us to find. You're smart enough, he'd tell us to do anything you want to, but the most important thing is always to be kind. See, everybody in this church world needs help from one another, but that don't mean you get to say how other folks should live. Love's the only thing in life that ever really matters. Don't ask what you can get, just show what you can give. Daddy was the kindest man that I ever knew. He believed in helping everyone, didn't matter who. He said I used to go to church and pray, but love my neighbors how I live my life today. Be kind to everyone you meet, whatever comes your way, and let love your neighbor be how you live your life today.